welcome to another season of Let's Get Real with Haja. Who would have thought I would have made it to season 2? But here we are, and I just can't wait to share this exciting journey with you all. Season 1 was a whirlwind of emotions filled with laughter, some tearjerkers, and all around good old fun. Season 2 digs deeper into the diaspora, and it's just get real. I can't wait to share this exciting journey with you all, so stay tuned. You definitely don't want to miss this. To get real with Haja, email lgrhaja@gmail.com. No story is too small to make a difference. 1 in 5 girls and 1 in 20 boys is a victim of child sexual abuse. And according to a 2003 National Institute of Justice report, 3 out of 4 adolescents who have been sexually assaulted were victimized by someone they knew well. Joining us today is someone who's experienced sexual assault firsthand and has now come to share her story. Without further ado, please help me welcome Candy. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing as good as can be. I'm doing good.
I'm good, thank you. So Candy, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are and where you're from.
Okay, well, my name is Candy Bibi. I am a professional event host based here in the DMV. I'm originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Congo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice. I'm from Sierra Leone.
My neighbors, cassava leaves.
Cassava
eating
leaves.
people.
Yes, yes, cassava
Exactly.
leaves.
Yes.
The good old cassava leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Candy, tell me about your childhood. What was it like growing up?
Okay. Well, I grew up in the typical African family, the very strict African family, as we all probably did.
Mm-hmm.
Childhood-wise, I had a good family, good parents, good environment when I was growing up.
Okay.
And that was, until things turned south for me, and my childhood became then very traumatic. Yeah, a very sad childhood until probably the age of 9. Yeah, is when my childhood, so to speak, turned a little sour for me. Yeah.
Candy, why do you want to talk about this now? Why are you coming out now?
The reason I'm coming out now is because I've done the work. I've done a lot of healing work. And I think that the reason why anybody who has been through such a situation comes out is to create awareness.
Okay.
Because to this day still in our community, this is something that's not talked about.
Yes.
So I want somebody out there who may have gone through the same situation to know, one, that they're not alone and that they can overcome.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I appreciate you wanting to do this, but like you said, it's a taboo and not too many people, come out in the public for so many reasons, it could be fear or the fun of being ashamed, so that stereotype.
Yes.
People don't want to come out and talk about it. So I appreciate you doing this. At what age did you realize this wasn't normal, and how did it begin? How often did it happen? I mean, I know this is like, taking you back to memory lane.
Yeah.
But I'd just like to just take me back to the time when it was happening, how often, how did that, what.
Yeah. So the first time it happened, I was about 9, and I remember it stopping when I started my cycle. So I started my cycle at the age of 12. So between 9 and 12, I was sexually molested by a family member.
Wow.
Yes. I remember the first time I walked into this person and they were watching pornography, and that's how it all went from there.
And so they were watching it, and what happened? Did they come sit with me? And
Yes, they made me watch. Yes, they made me watch it, and then they wanted us to act out on the things that we had watched. Yeah.
You, of course, were influenced, and
yes,
you did it.
Yes, because of who the person was. I was paralyzed by fear. I didn't understand, but even at 9, I felt off and odd, but I was helpless.
And so when did you realize this wasn't normal? Like, oh, at the time, and I know you said like you realized because of the status of that person.
Yes.
And you felt like you have to do it. But then did you at that time did you? I know you said you didn't understand.
Yes.
But I mean, there's some at a very young age they begin to teach us about being moral, right?
Yes.
So at the time, 9 years, did you know that what this person was doing wasn't right?
No, I didn't know until we started talking about sex education in school.
Wow, and that was at what age?
At about 12, 11, 12. What? And I remember one time during sports, I had said something to a friend of mine, and she looked at me like, that was weird. I had spoken a little bit of indecent behavior because I learned sex at a very young age, and she was taken aback by it. And then I realized, oh, I guess it doesn't happen to everybody. Not everybody's doing it
right
this way.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's strange,
Yeah.
That's not the norm.
Yeah.
So at that age, were you actually having like sexual intercourse with this individual?
It first began with touches, and they would touch me and make me touch them, and at some point, yes.
Yeah. Oh my. I'm so sorry. Oh, Lord. So did you tell anyone?
No. As I said in the beginning, I was raised in the typical, strict, traditional African family where you are raised not to speak or to say things, where our parents were not open.
Right.
So I couldn't say anything. I wasn't able to say anything. I didn't say anything until I turned 36.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
And it happened from 9 to when?
To 12. 12, because I started my cycle at 12. Yeah.
And you were at home with this individual?
Yes, I was. I was.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay. I'm so sorry this happens to you.
It's all right.
Because I feel like your childhood was taken away from you at a very young age.
It was. And I grew up, because of that, I grew up a very bitter. My personality is very bubbly and very loving, very crazy, very loud. But growing up for me, I was a very bitter and angry teenager. Yeah, very, very.
So when you were going through this, those 3 years when you were going through it, what was your mentality like?
Confusing. At some times I thought maybe this is happening because I'm special. I thought maybe this is happening because this person loves me, which is what they were supposed to do. And so maybe this is happening because it's a way that they're showing me. So I didn't know. I'm not sure what to think. Yeah.
This is sad. Due to the nature of the person that's involved, we just want to keep it as a family member.
Yes. Thank you.
But I cannot imagine, what you were going through at that such young age, and you not being able to tell anyone, and you just continue to endure and endure and endure.
Yeah. That forged my secretive nature. It caused me to just hide my feelings.
And this was an older person that's supposed to be protective of you.
Absolutely.
And was violating you.
Yes. Yeah. So at a very young age, I learned how to keep everything to myself. It didn't matter what anybody said to me, what anybody did to me. I learned not to react because I didn't feel like whatever I felt mattered. So,
yeah. What was his explanation or excuse for doing this? Because I'm trying to understand, were they saying anything to you?
Haja, there wasn't really a spoken explanation. There wasn't really, I was already considered the trouble child. of my mom, of my father, and my mother and father. I was the one who gave them a little more headache, the one who told more stories. So this was used against me. So it was I can say, as sad as it may sound, the perfect person to pick on, because I was already, the troubled child. So who would believe me? And that power that this person had over me, there was no need to have any spoken words,
And
there was no explanation.
Did this happen in Congo or the United States?
No, I'm from Congo, but I was raised in Kenya. So I lived all my life in Kenya.
So it happened in Kenya.
Yes. Yeah.
This is so sad, Candy.
Mm.
I don't even know how you doing, like your mental side, because I'm sure this would have kind of messed you up in a way.
It did, Haja, for a very long time. Everything. I've been through it all. Depression, numerous suicide attempts. It affected my relationships, my growth, my personal development as a person. And like I said, I only came out for the first time. I had my last mental breakdown at 36. And that was when I decided that it was time to take back control of my life.
I can imagine, because it's a lot to just bottle up inside. Sometimes we think we're brave, but we're actually not. And so it's seeing this individual out and just knowing, or every time you see that person, I'm sure you will have that memory just comes back and just just take you back to the time when the abuse was taking place. I am so sorry. So I know you said you decided to come out at age 36, right? And when you decided that the day that you said, okay, well, today's the day, I'm gonna come out in the open about it. Did you have fear of not wanting the abuser to get in trouble because of a feeling of loyalty, love, or fear?
No.
You were like, that's it?
I was tired. I was emotionally tired. I was exhausted. I was exhausted of carrying it. I had enough. And like I said, I came out because I had my final mental breakdown. And I couldn't have this holding me any longer. I had participated to different conferences where I'd heard different women share their stories, and I felt like finally I'm not alone. So I was tired, and I didn't care. I didn't care about them. They were the last thing in my mind when I was coming out. I just needed to be free. So yeah, it took a while. It took a long time, but
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah. So no, I had no more consideration left for them. None. They had been holding my life for so long, and I just wanted to break free. And yeah, so I didn't care about them. I didn't care about my family's reaction. I didn't care. I did it for me. Yeah.
And you needed to do that. That's therapy. That's the only way you could heal from it. You don't have to do it for anyone.
Yeah. So I did.
And what you went through is bigger than anyone's feeling.
Yeah.
So always remember that. If any family member comes up and say, you know what, you should not, we're Africans, we don't put our business out there, we don't do that. But I mean, what about you?
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, don't always if that's what's gonna bring you peace, you deserve that peace. You deserve that moment. No one should point finger at you for doing what you did. They should be attacking the other person.
Absolutely.
And not you. But again, that's not reality.
No, in our community, unfortunately, I don't know how it is in Sierra Leone, but I know in the Congolese community, for some reason, a majority of people have the tendency to want to protect predators, to want to excuse their behaviors, to want to cover them up. And we never sit for a moment and think about the damage that's been done to these victims. So we never want to think for a second, how is this the victim of these type of abuses doing no. For some reason in our community, we want to shield predators. We want to protect them and discard the victims, which is why a lot of people like me don't come out until, you know.
And it makes no sense because it encourages, you know, the perpetrator to continue
Absolutely
to do this.
Yes.
And it's not right. It's not right. I mean, over here in the Western world, it's a different type of situation.
Yes.
You know, I mean, people know once you try that, you're gonna be gone for a while.
Yes.
But I mean, Africa, we need to begin to change that mindset that it's not right.
It has to. It
You know?
absolutely has to.
Yeah, as a kid, you know, your parent, you know, is supposed to protect you, and you're supposed to be around whoever that you're around is supposed to be the first line of defense.
Yes.
And so growing up, we learn to trust, you know, authority, right? That's what we've been grown. So you look up to them, and you know, they shaped you. And so if they're the one violating you, then it's such a shame.
It is.
It's
a shame. Yeah.
It's such a shame it happened. And I mean, no words. There's nothing out here that I could tell you to make you feel better. You know what I mean? Because I mean, this is just, I can't imagine, you know, that this person would do this to you. Like, you know, what happened to your conscience? You know what I mean? Like, I always, and this person was an older person, right? So, I mean, there's so many women out there. Like, woman, you can practically get like $1 change, you know, any woman you want, you know what I mean? So why not, if you want, I mean, how do you enjoy, I kind of thought of how you enjoy a child.
Yeah.
You must be sick.
You'll be surprised. There's a lot of sick people out here, Haja.
Yeah.
A lot. A lot. And that's why it's important we have these conversations. I have a 22-year-old son now, and I had him at 16.
Oh, wow.
Again, like I said, I was a very rebellious growing teen, but my son was my saving grace because it's the only thing I clung to. It's the only thing that made me want to live. He's the only thing that I was able to pour love into after just growing up very hateful against the whole world. And we have to have these conversations.
We do.
We have to educate our children. So my son, I educated him about his private parts from the time he was 2 to his growing years. I could not stop emphasizing about these things. Our generation of parents didn't think this kind of education was important, but we have to do better for the upcoming generation.
You have to, and it's funny you said that because I was having a conversation with someone else. It wasn't about this, but we were talking about, you know, sexual abuse, and this person said to me, you have to talk to your child. I mean, I have a daughter at a very young age, try educating them so they know that, you know, once a person approaches you or touches you in a certain way, it's not appropriate. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, and it's hard to have this type of conversation, but we need to be having this type of conversation.
Absolutely.
You know?
And we need to create ground for our children to feel like they can come to us with anything.
And you didn't have that.
No, I didn't, unfortunately. I didn't have that. We were scared of our parents. They were this authority that you just didn't approach with anything. Or they would assume the worst, or you would get a beating. So no. But for our own children, we have to be able to make it safe for them to come to us with absolutely
anytime.
Yes.
Anytime.
Yes.
It's very, very important because that's how things happen behind your back and you don't know. And it goes on for so long, and if you're that parent, it's like, well, how did I miss this? You know what I mean? Like, I was there. I was there all the time. I was present in your life. Like, you know, why didn't you come and talk to me? But you didn't create that platform.
Yes.
You know, for the child to want to have this type of conversation with you.
Exactly.
And so, you know, that's what makes it keep on going. It's really, it's was a tough situation.
Yeah.
It was a tough situation.
Mm-hmm.
Candy, as a result of this incident, what has been your outlook of men?
I'm going to split it in 3 parts. So as a teenager, I was constantly looking, constantly looking and letting anybody who would have me. I learned sex at a very young age, and it was a very unhealthy coping mechanism all through my teenage years. And then as an adult, just failed relationships because I wasn't able to open up. I had too many issues, mental, spiritual, emotional, so I wasn't able to stay in a stable relationship too long. So that's been the impact, but we're working on it.
Candy, what would you like to say to others right now that might be going through or have already gone through these, but still do not have the voice to come out and speak on it?
Speaking on it set me free. There's a quote in the Bible that I like that says the truth sets you free, and speaking about it is the first chain that you break from this person having so much power over your life. So if you cannot speak to family, you cannot speak to friends, seek professional help. Seek a neutral ground of somebody that you can go and talk to. That has helped me tremendously. Granted, I have an amazing village of women behind me who have supported me, have listened to me, but also get professional help, which I did. And don't let this be the stain that you live your life by. Yes, I can't forget it, but I've overcome it. I've overcome it. It doesn't run my life anymore, and it shouldn't run yours.
Candy, is this person still open about? Have you made peace with this person, or has this person apologized to you or given you any sort of explanation, anything like that?
No, and I don't care for it because I set myself free. So whether he does or he doesn't, I've made peace for myself, with myself. They're still alive, and I'm just leaving them to God.
And nothing happened to it? No one took matters into their hands, reported? No
one.
Wow. Wow. So what do you want to educate people through this interview as a result of your experience?
Listen to your children. Protect your children. Protect them with everything that you have. And when children don't lie.
Yeah.
Children don't lie. If a child comes up to you and says that an uncle, an aunt, a friend, a brother, a sister has touched them inappropriately, dig into them and protect them. Show them that you care, Give them that cover. I think that had I had that cover, it wouldn't have gone on for years. Because even after I came out, then I heard that, the history of this person was that they had done this before. We had heard. How do you think that made me feel?
Oh my goodness.
So protect your children at all costs. And Africans, wake up. We need to stop. This has to stop. It has to stop. It is wrong. It's disgusting. It is vile, and it's destroying lives. So it has to stop.
So when you came out, you were the troubled child. Completely forgot about this individual. Now you.
Yeah. When I came out, a lot of other things came about, and it made me realize that, wow. So you knew, right? It's a lot of our situations, people are aware. I'm sorry, but if you have a child, something is off somewhere. You choose not to dig, right? So Haja, I've had to do a lot of therapy.
I'm trying to process,
a lot of work to help me navigate all the emotions that I felt, even towards the environment that I grew up with. So it's taken work, but it's not impossible. You can do it too.
And I'm trying to understand, how is this your fault?
Yeah.
How is this okay okay for someone to touch you inappropriately.
Yeah. You will hear all kinds of things. You will hear things like, well, it has happened before. Well, you're not the first. You're not the first, so get over it. That's the typical African response to it. And no, it's not okay.
No, it's not. Nothing about this is okay.
It's not okay. It's absolutely not okay. But you have to be strong. You have to be strong.
Can you please continue to tell your story? Because, like I said, there are so many girls out there, even boys. A lot of times we tend to focus on the girls, but boys have been abused too.
Yes.
They touch them.
Yes.
So the story of R. Kelly, I know you would have heard, right?
Yes.
So one thing he said, I'm no way supporting what R. Kelly did, but one thing he's talking about is like he was being touched by his sister, and he thought that it was okay. So he grew up, being sexually aroused and just felt like it was okay to just violate women. And so he had no respect. And so, but again, thank you for doing this, because like, I want people listening to this, talk to your kids, do whatever you can to protect them. Don't take anything for granted. Yeah. Kids, like she said, don't lie. If someone would have listened, to would have created that, open conversation where you feel, very comfortable talking about anything, it would not have gone this far. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry this happened to you. But continue to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're gonna get some backlash, but it's okay. You're doing it for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know now that you said it, you kind of, feel a little bit relaxed.
Yes, it's a big weight lifted off my shoulder. It is. It doesn't hold me back anymore.
Yeah. You're gonna annoy some people along the way, and it's okay.
Yeah.
As we've learned from Candy's story, sexual harassment, assault, and abuse can happen anywhere. The majority of sexual assault happen at or near the victim's home, often by someone they knew well or trust. If you or anyone you know is experiencing any of this or has experienced it, do not be afraid to speak out. Or you can call the National Sexual Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE. Thank you so much, Candy. I appreciate you sharing your story.
Thank you for having me, Haja. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
To get real with Haja, email lgrhaja@gmail.com. No story is too small to make a difference.